We come together in grief, acknowledging our human loss. And we ask that God may grant us grace, that in our pain we may find comfort, in our sorrow we may find hope, and yes, even in death we will find the resurrection.
He was someone who brought light and laughter into the lives of those he knew. His kindness, warmth, and genuine care for others were among the hallmarks of his character.
You always want to be remembered for, helping people and doing everything that you could, to assist. And I mean, he was just a great person.
All units batch 873, Sergeant Dale Nix is 1042 for the final time. End of watch December 30th, 2023. Thank you for your service. We have watched from here. Communications clear.
Well, as you just witnessed this afternoon, hundreds gathered in Greensboro today to remember Greensboro Police Sergeant Dale Nix. His fellow first responders, not only from Greensboro, but from other local first responder agencies around the community, around the state, honored him and his service to our community alongside his friends and family.
A procession moved through the city with Nix's casket taken to Westover Church by the North Carolina Highway Patrol's Caisson unit in a horse-drawn military carriage where his brothers and sisters in law enforcement lined the street.
And Fox 8's Madison Forsey listened into today's service. Madison, there was a lot of emotion in that room today.
Absolutely. It was powerful, and it was a time for those people to mourn, but it was also a time to rejoice and reflect upon the powerful life and legacy of Sergeant Dale Nix.
Sergeant Dale Nix was a best friend to all. Sergeant Dale Nix was a loving husband and father and of his family. And finally, Sergeant Dale Nix confronted evil so he could protect us. Sergeant Dale Nix was a patriot. Sergeant Dale Nix is the definition of what it means to be a cop in America. And finally, Dale and I...
Sonia Desai and Katherine Johnson worked closely with Sergeant Nix at the Family Justice Center. For years, the group of three worked together to support and advocate for victims of violence. That was his passion. Desai and Johnson said Nix was so committed to the mission, he attended the first appearance of each suspect to ask for higher bonds. He held the title for longest serving sergeant for the Family Victims Unit. Johnson stated his work had life-saving ripple effects for survivors everywhere. He could also have fun dressing up as Star Wars characters for different events. But the real magic of Sergeant Nix was his friendship. Both women described at the service Thursday Nix's calming presence. He was someone who wanted to know you and consistently rooted for you.
Sergeant Nix instilled his passionate power in all of us. He sacrificed his life to save others, his life for the greater good. He knew we had it in us to continue on even after his untimely death. May we use the power and wisdom he gave us to fight for justice, protect victims, hold offenders accountable, and be the kind of leaders that put collaborative solutions above individual agendas.
And members of the Honor Guard and fellow detectives also shared stories of his compassion. Chief John Thompson also shared the hole that Sergeant Nix leaves in the community, and I'll share more from him just ahead at 5 o'clock.
Madison, thank you. So many people showing their respects for Sergeant Nix and his family today. The emotions not only felt inside the church, but outside those walls as well. Yeah,
hundreds of people lined outside of that church. Fox 8's Caroline Boyer has been observing from outside today and has seen the hundreds of people gathering. Caroline, what's it been like from your vantage point?
Natalie, Chad, I think we all knew there was going to be a big turnout for this, but I and a lot of people who have been out here are just in awe of the number of people who have shown up to show support for Sergeant Nix and his family, and that is well exhibited by this traffic that is lining up behind us as people are trying to get out of the church. This afternoon started with hundreds of officers from agencies across the Triad lining the driveway to Westover Church as we started to see the horse-drawn caisson carrying the casket coming up Muir Chapel Road. Those officers saluted. It was powerful watching as the casket, draped with an American flag, made its way past the officers and to the doors of the church where Nix's loved ones were waiting. There was a 21-gun salute after the service before people began leaving the church as they are now. Those who knew and worked with Nix tell me he was a compassionate advocate for victims of domestic violence and never met a stranger. Several people I talked with tell me they'll miss Sergeant Nix's smile the most.
He had a beautiful smile. I mean, from day one, he always had a beautiful smile.
He's always able to crack a joke. I think some people will tell you that. His interest when you're talking to him, you feel like you're the only one he's talking to.
Sergeant Nix is leaving behind a legacy of love and service, as you've heard from the people who know him. Coming up on the Fox 8 5 o'clock news, I'll tell you why city leaders say we can do something to prevent another tragedy like this from happening again. Live in Greensboro, Caroline Boyer, Fox 8 News.
Caroline, thank you. Well, as you saw earlier, 4 horses with state troopers on top pulling a case on took Sergeant Dale Nix to the funeral today.
The group is a nonprofit from North Carolina that honors fallen law enforcement officers in the state and the surrounding states with what they want to be an unforgettable send-off. Fox 8's Sarah Winkleman spent some time with the Caisson unit as they got ready. And Sarah, what does this gesture mean to them?
They say it means everything. It's such a beautiful way to honor a fellow law enforcement officer. And they all tell me that being here today, being a part of this was truly an honor. Now, those horses that you see there, they stay full time at a farm with one of the state troopers. They train with the horses all year and make sure that they stay well groomed in case they get that phone call. Since 2008, the group has provided services for dozens of fallen officers, including now Sergeant Dale Nix. Now, the horse's fur is polished, their hooves are painted black, and all of the equipment is cleaned up for the cleanest display to honor a true hero in Greensboro. From the horse's equipment to the troopers' outfits, everything is in tip-top shape for that memorable ride to the church.
It was hard. It's hard not to get emotional because we know what Sergeant Nix did, and he carried a gun and badge just like I do, so it can become very emotional.
And certainly a tough day for all law enforcement officers out there. And so the troopers tell me after they're done with their duties today, they just get with each other, talk to each other, check in, and just make sure that everyone is doing okay emotionally, because we know that this can certainly take a toll on them. And obviously we saw the troopers out here today, but lots of other law enforcement agencies from all around coming to help out here today. I'll have much more on that coming up at 5. Live in Greensboro, Sarah Winkleman, Fox 8 News.
Sarah, thank you. It was also during the funeral that we learned the name of the other off-duty police officer who was at the same sheets where Sergeant Nix was killed. Greensboro police officer Cameron Peach was there by Sergeant Nix's side, rendering aid after he'd been shot after trying to stop a crime. We interviewed Officer Peach in 2019 for the same investigative series Sergeant Nix was featured in. Both men were featured in our series, What Happened to Baby Doe. That's some file video of Officer Peach. In that series, we interviewed several people who played a part in rescuing a baby who was found abandoned off McKnight Mill Road in Greensboro in November of '99. Dale Nix was a telecommunicator who dispatched that call. Cameron Peach was one of the officers who responded. So these men crossed paths early in their careers, and now we know also in Sergeant Nix's final moments. As Detective Caroline Holliday shared in her comments today, she does not believe this was a coincidence.
God had prepared Cameron for this moment in time. He was there by Dale's side in a matter of seconds. Dale had a friend in his last moments. He was not alone. Cameron later told me he and his wife weren't even intentionally at that Sheetz. They had gone in search of something at a different Sheetz and just so happened to be at this Sheetz in search of that item. You will never convince me God didn't send Cameron and his wife to that Sheetz at that time for that purpose.
And there was also a Guilford County paramedic at the Sheetz filling up with gas who also rendered aid to Nix.
Well, there will be a memorial ride for Sergeant Nix this Sunday. It's being organized by Operation Fly Our Flag. It will begin Sunday morning at the Greensboro Coliseum and go to the Kickback Jacks on Battleground Avenue. You'll need to register at the Coliseum at 9 a.m. The ride leaves promptly at 10:42 a.m. 10:42 is the police code for ending tour of duty. Everyone who takes part will buy at least one sticker for $20. All the money goes back to the Nix family. There's more information on the Operation Fly Our Flag Facebook page.